What is going on, guys? This is Gemmy here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Gemmy animated Sesame Street Sleigh Ride featuring Elmo, the furry little red nuisance, Cookie Monster, and Oscar the Grouch. Man, was this one a bit of an interesting project to work on because of all the sledding trios that Gemmy has made in the mid to late 2000s, I'd say this is probably my favorite for a couple of reasons. For one, this one doesn't have a snow base like the others, like the ones with Peanuts and Alvin and the Chipmunks. And I think it's no surprise that I don't know how it goes, but I think that Hallmark's Jingle Bells for the year 2007 were inspired by things like this. Or do I have that backwards? Maybe it's Gemmy that got the inspiration from Hallmark. Either way, it's not really a coincidence. There was definitely inspiration, and this was probably the hot new thing that was coming out in 2007, concept-wise. Now let me just go from back to front in terms of repair. All three characters had split gears. Oscar had a split 9-tooth gear, which I would have replaced with a new 9-tooth, but I put a new 8-tooth in there. I know it's going to split, and I'm going to have to go back in there and replace it with the proper size gear eventually, but I'm going to wait for this new 8-tooth to split, then I'll go in there. As for Cookie Monster, he was fine. It's just that for some odd and bizarre reason, his wires just sliced off. So I had to go in there, and I had to reattach the wires to the motor, which took a little while, and his gear sounds like it's splitting, but I'm not sure if it really is. I don't think it is. And as for Elmo here, let me get his fur straightened out here. Elmo was a completely different story. He had a split gear in his body, which I replaced, but getting these guys apart was no easy feat. It wasn't insanely tedious. It's just you have to take apart Oscar first, then Cookie Monster, then Elmo. And you have to repair each character in that exact order from back to front. So that's exactly what I did. And another thing I want to point out is that the pin holders that hold the characters in place were actually snapped. So I actually glued them back together. And Cookie Monsters is still stable, but Elmo's pin holder actually came loose again when I just moved into my new apartment. But I did have it fully working, and it technically does still fully work. It's just that Elmo rocks a little bit more than Cookie Monster does. And I know this thing isn't in the best cosmetic shape, but at least it's actually functional, and it actually has a presentable appearance, to say the least. But yeah, all three characters move and sing their own versions of Jingle Bells, and we wish you a Merry Christmas. Classic public domain Christmas songs. So here they are in action.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a yucky Christmas and a lousy New Year. Good cookies we bring to you and your kids. Cookies for Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish you a yucky Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Joy. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, how rotten it is to ride in a one-horse broken sleigh. Yeah, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
And a few defects I want to mention with this particular one that I have is that Oscar sometimes gets stuck moving up and down. I have no idea why. I put it back together exactly as it was manufactured. Maybe it has something to do with the new gear. I don't know. And yeah, resewing these characters is actually kind of a challenge because I mean, with Elmo, look at that. You could just roll his fur back and you can see parts of the module. So I'll have to sew that back up at some point, but here's an overview of the character. And I almost forgot to mention, this is actually the first generation. There are actually about 3 different generations, all 3 of which I experienced in trying to get one that actually has a chance of being repaired. The first one I got was a 2nd gen that looks just like this, except the characters are kind of facing, turning towards facing you from this angle. And then this 1st generation, they're looking straight. And then on the 3rd generation, the button is on Elmo's hand, not his foot. There are quite a few obvious differences to compare how you can tell which one. The 2nd and 3rd generations, the tag is on the back of Oscar, and it says Gemmy Flower Mound, Texas. But the 1st gen here has the tag on Cookie Monster. So Sesame Workshop, Sesame Street, copyright 2006, Sesame Workshop. Gemmy Industries Corp., Coppell, Texas. So yeah, obviously this was made first. This is the first one that was made, and then the two other versions followed in 2007. I don't think they were re-released for 2008. Yeah, again, the appearance isn't the best, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was when the characters were moving. They were like, all of them were like snapped off. Oh yeah, I forgot to say that Oscar the Grouch was also snapped off. I had to glue him back in place. Yeah, this thing, like, you should have seen this thing when I first got it. It was a complete mess. Alright, here's the Sesame Street Sleigh Ride in action one more time.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. I wish you a yucky Christmas and a lousy New Year. Good cookies may bring to you and your kids. Cookies for Christmas and a Happy New Year. I wish you a yucky Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Joy. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, how rotten it is to ride in a one-horse broken sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
And there you go, guys. That's the Gemmy animated Sesame Street Sleigh Ride. Thanks for watching.